It is without question that our minds are our greatest adversary, that without fail we find ourselves in a constant battle with our thoughts. It's no surprise that our own minds can incapacitate us and often relinquish all hope. Our minds have a way of diminishing the idea that we can't be content. However, it's not without promise. More often than not, we do win the battle. Unfortunately, it's a never ending war. But what if your mind creates a problem you can't control? What if your mind becomes not only your adversary, but also everyone else's? In 1985, the newest issue of New Mutants introduced David Charles Haler, an Omega level mutant with psionic abilities. David was born and raised in Israel by his mother Gabrielle Haler and his stepfather. David was only 10 when his home was raided by terrorists, and in that raid, right before his very eyes, David saw his stepfather murdered in cold blood. That traumatic moment became the catalyst that initiated David's latent psionic abilities. David incinerated the minds of every terrorist threat that crossed his path. However, his heroic moment came with a price. While David incinerated the minds of every terrorist threat, unintentionally, he also absorbed their minds, even absorbing the mind of the terrorist leader, Jamil Karami, into his own. The mental link with every terrorist at their time of death rendered David into a catatonic state. While treated in Muir Island, a location known for being a safe haven for mutants and mutant rehabilitation, David was slowly recovering and waking up from his catatonic state. Dr. Moira McTaggart, a close friend of Professor Charles Xavier, is a renowned scientist engaged in the study of mutants. She attended to David while he recovered. Things should have turned out better for David, but everything was about to turn upside down. And I mean that in a literal sense. Little did he know that upon his recovery, his past would once again haunt him for the rest of his life. The trauma and terror that he experienced as a young boy would cause David's psyche to splinter into multiple personalities. That isn't even the worst part. Each personality manifested a different mutant ability. Upon my research, it is believed that David suffered from multiple personality disorder, which is medically known as dissociative identity disorder. It's a complex psychological condition that is likely caused by many factors, including severe trauma during childhood, which would explain David's condition. When he absorbed the mind of Jamil Karami, Karami's personality became part of David, but that wasn't the only thing. Karami's personality manifested telepathic abilities within David. Another personality, Jack Wayne, a swaggering adventurer, commanded David's telekinetic abilities, while another, Cindy, a temperamental, also rebellious girl, commanded pyrokinetic abilities. It's widely unknown how many personalities are encased inside David's mind. However, it is believed to be over 300. Although he was once a terrorist leader, Karami tried his best to help David. Karami discovered that David was gentle, innocent, and kind in nature, and made the decision to care for David and restore his mind to normalcy. Karami's efforts to reintegrate David's personalities into his core personality came with resistance. Jack Wayne and Cindy proved to be particularly formidable adversaries for Karami, as well as David's. Karami's efforts to reintegrate David's personalities didn't only come with resistance, but with a war with Wayne and the other resisting personalities. The war within David's mind caused a dreamscape of mixed memories, memories of David's childhood and Karami's memories. While the war within David's chaotic mind was happening, David's psionic abilities began to manifest in the real world, absorbing the psyches of two of McTaggart's closest friends. McTaggart, in her efforts to help David, summoned Charles Xavier to Muir Island. Xavier wasn't alone. He brought several members of the New Mutants, Cypher, Mirage, and Wolfbane. In their efforts to help David, David absorbed the consciousness of McTaggart and Wolfbane into his mind. While Xavier probed David's mind, David's psionic abilities began to absorb everyone else around him. That includes Cypher, Mirage, Xavier, and also his own mother. In the midst of all this chaos, it came with no surprise to Xavier. Before entering David's mind, he learned that David Haler was his son. Everyone David absorbed managed to retain their own independence within David's mind. Upon finding out David was his son, Xavier also knew the name of the multiple personalities that plagued David. They were Legion. Some of the members of the New Mutants found themselves teaming up with Wayne and Cindy to destroy Karami. Wayne lied about Karami's true motives, which led Mirage to stopping Wayne. When Karami revealed to his mother and Mirage what he was doing in David's mind, in restoring David's mind to normalcy, everyone had to work together to help poor David. In the end, Karami was able to integrate a few of David's personalities. However, he failed to integrate Wayne and Cindy into his core personality. Because of his inability to integrate Wayne and Cindy, they will forever control David and his powers for the rest of his life. It wasn't without promise. David's core personality was in control of his body. However, the saddest part is that his dominant personality is still that of a 10-year-old boy, just like it always was when he experienced the terrible trauma at 10.